Welcome to the Dead Pixel Society podcast, the photo imaging industry's leading news source. Here's your host, Gary Pageau. The Dead Pixel Society podcast is brought to you by MediaClip, Advertech Printing, and Independent Photo Imagers.
Hello again, and welcome to the Dead Pixel Society podcast. I'm your host, Gary Pageau, and today we're joined by Hans Scheffer, the founder, CEO, and chief bottle washer at HelloPrint in the Netherlands. Hi, Hans. How are you today?
Very good, Gary. Thanks for having me.
Listen, Hans, you and I have chatted a couple of times and thought we'd do a podcast about your company because you've been in the industry a long time, but you're not exactly a household name. Can you kind of talk about where you started in the industry like 2.5 decades ago?
Yeah, so I'm in this industry for quite a while, maybe too long, I don't know, but I'm still pretty much enjoying it. All jokes aside, so I started almost 25 years ago when I was 18. I'm now turning 42. So as a young kid, as an event organizer, I needed a lot of printed materials, flyers, folded leaflets, posters, etc., tickets. Back in the days, there was no social media, as you and I know. So a lot of the promotion was done on physical paper. Long story short, I decided to look for a way to make that more efficient, buying those promotional materials,
Sure.
And came up with the idea of printing all the flyers that we needed for like a couple of months beforehand, and ask a big printer how many flyers would fit on a big sheet, and then cut them loose. And that was like the start of my career in print, actually. With a company called Flyer.nl and Poster.nl.
Yeah.
Back in 2000, in a time where internet was on the rise, e-commerce was not a definition yet.
Right.
Google was introducing Google AdWords. We were trying a little bit of that new way of advertisement, and that worked out pretty well. Yeah, you can fairly say we were there on the rhythm of an organically changing world. With a lot of luck, back then, the company called FlyerZone, we developed that company into the leading company in the Netherlands and Belgium. Sold that company in 2010 to a listed company from the UK, printing.com. Yeah, and in 2013, I thought, well, why not go back to this industry again and start our new adventure, which is now a HelloPrint already for 11 years.
Okay. So what kind of events were you organizing as an 18-year-old entrepreneur?
Yeah, so first events for myself and my friends, but the main trigger for starting organizing the events was the divorce of my parents. My mom was in for a party and she said, "There's nothing for my age here. Can you organize some parties?" And I started to do some back to the 70s, 80s disco events, etc. in my hometown. And it worked out pretty well. And before we know it, when I was 18, I quit school and we had 10 full-time people organizing 150 events a year.
Wow.
So it kind of exploded, I think.
Cool. So it sounds to me like you've always been kind of an entrepreneur, kind of a high energy person, always looking for opportunities. So in 2013, when you started kind of what the basis of HelloPrint has become, what did you see as the opportunity at that point?
I was already active in this industry obviously for a couple of years. And when I was redefining my future in the gap year that I had between selling the previous company and starting my new company, I was looking into various opportunities, various industries, etc. And when I redefined my adventure in print, it became clear to me that this industry was actually so much more interesting than I ever thought, also when I was already in that industry.
Yeah.
So it's an enormous industry and highly fragmented, a lot of small players.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, but even now, so primarily offline.
Right.
So those three characteristics, they combined, they give a very interesting playfield, I think. And that was for me the driver to basically start HelloPrint in that industry again.
Mm-hmm.
With all the knowledge that we had gained over the past decade, with a new philosophy solely focused on technology and data without printing anything ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We said, okay, so what if we can make ordering printed materials as easy as buying a book at Amazon or shoes at Zalando or something online at Walmart? And with that philosophy, we started to develop a focus on user interaction and user experience first, which was back then quite new for the industry, I think.
Mm-hmm. Was that always the focus when you started HelloPrint, was to be sort of a focal point or a nexus for printing as opposed to doing stuff yourself? Or is that something you learned over time?
Well, I mean, so we are not print guys, although I
Right.
come from the industry.
Yeah.
I can't fairly say anymore that I'm not a print guy.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you're active for 25 years and in the industry, you should call yourself a print guy. But it's fair to say that the majority of the people in HelloPrint, we were with around 200 people. Most of the people here, but also in the management team, we are technologists or data engineers or marketeers.
Mhm.
And print is the product we sell. And
Right.
with that philosophy, it became very apparent that we would never print anything ourselves. So the whole philosophy of building a marketplace or a infrastructure or a network with high quality print producers who are all very good in their own niche,
Mhm.
and connect them to an infrastructural layer of technology and data. Yeah, that was always our view on future.
So walk us through this whole how this works, and people, in case people aren't familiar.
We are a network that connects with over 300 global suppliers of printed materials,
Mhm.
and also like 30 to 50 logistical solutions. And all that data is in our databases, and smart technology defines where something is being produced and who is shipping it based on where something needs to be delivered and when.
Mhm.
And so those variables, they define how the network works. And we have a lot of producers connected to that model.
Mhm.
Most of them are there for a very long time. We have a very low churn there. And that gives us two benefits. Basically, it gives our customers way more options in terms of a product offering, but also in terms of delivery times, etc.
Right.
And it also gives us the opportunity to optimize our production network and leverage the qualities of all those players or all those producers that we have at the back end of the platform.
People don't really work with HelloPrint. Like consumers aren't going to HelloPrint to place prints. They're working with your customers who are being matched with output providers.
Yeah, but the transaction is always between us and the customer and between us and the producer.
Right.
So we believe that so ordering print is a complex thing.
Right.
So we make the deliberated choice, or our technique is making the deliberated choice where something is being produced and when. And
Right.
we gave our customers the certainty that their file is always right. So we always do file optimization. We check everything, etc.
Mhm.
We're there for them to help them place the order, and we are there in the order process. And for our producers, they can rely on a very automated flow with us, with a very steady output, and always a good file and always a smooth flow. And for both parties, I think it's very interesting to work with us.
Mhm.
So at one end, the customers, they are having like much more options to order, but they also take care of the planet in a better way, because the network we produce as local as possible, and also our logistical services are as local as possible.
Right.
Because of our volumes, we have a very attractive price, which can compete with the market.
Mhm.
And for our producers, it gives an additional revenue stream in a very automated and flexible and easy way.
Mhm. So you're providing some of the oversight, like I said, on the file, right? So somebody submits a file and it's the fonts are included or there's problems with it. It's not going to get to the producer. You're going to stop it at that point.
It's our automation. It's our team that checks that, and it only arrives in the API of the producer or in the supplier portal that we have, or in their email, whatever connection we have. If the file is checked and if we are absolutely 100% sure that the order can be produced instantly.
Because that's one of the challenges I would see on the producer side, right? Is you're getting in this basically anonymous work, right? You have no relationship with the customer really. So you want to make sure from an efficiency standpoint that
Absolutely.
you're not dealing with any typical problems. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So absolutely right. So, and that's also why producers love to work with us, because they always know they have a steady stream of orders. They always know that the file is right. They have one contact person. When something goes wrong, there's one escalation point, and they get their money from one source. And that is quite a nice way of extending your revenue streams.
What has changed from a technology standpoint since you started, from an output standpoint? Because what I'm seeing in the marketplace is there's just so much more substrates people can print on now than they did from, so let's say 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different printing technologies. There's foam, there's glass, there's wood, there's cloth, there's everything. And you've got to manage all that now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way more complex. So we have over 10 million SKUs that we offer to our customers. So it's our goal to offer basically everything that can be printed to our customers, regardless in which industry they are.
Right.
So it's one of our strategies is adding as much products to the catalog that we have and offer them to our customers, and also make that catalog available for other professional parties who don't have the ability to build the catalog themselves,
right,
but have the ability to sell. So one of our models that we have developed over the course of the last years is our API model, which gives direct access to the largest catalog of printed products in the world, which can instantly be used by large industry players, online printers, or parties who are selling other stuff to small and medium enterprises, and extend their product offering to them in a very easy way.
Where do you see, like, in the growth in the product categories? Where do you see that? Is it because I'm seeing a lot of people talking about the direct to garment, that seems to be going crazy right now. Are you seeing the similar growth on that?
Yeah, so I mean, so print is very wide scattered, I would say. So you have so many subcategories, etc. And look around you, like everything around you is printed,
Right.
from the label in your T-shirt to the photo product on your desk to the thing on your iPhone, etc. So we see a lot of growth in various categories. For example, the direct to garment is a growing industry, of course, but also like sustainable gifts. We see that companies are making much more conscious choices when it comes down to gifting, etc., and presents for their employees or customers, etc. But also in terms of packaging. So a couple of years ago, if you were a small perfume maker as a mom and pop shop, you could not make your own packaging, because that was only possible for industry players with large quantities. Nowadays, you can make like 10 packages for your perfume, or 10 labels, etc., or 100 labels. So the industry is changing on the back of also the technology revolution, of course, that we also see in print. Mass customization is much more present than 10 years ago, and that significantly changes the behavior of customers, and also the offering of producers.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the sustainability piece, because I think that's sort of the unintended benefit, maybe intended benefit, but one of the benefits of this is you get the advantage of local production. You're not shipping, not putting things into a container and shipping it across the ocean in quantities. And there's less waste, less material waste, and all those kind of things. Was that one of the things you originally considered, or is this sort of coming over now? Understanding you're in Europe, and I think the Europeans are far more environmentally conscious than us Yankees over here, so that's another thing.
Yeah, so you're completely right. So I think Europe is more conscious, and within Europe, so we are in the Netherlands. It's even a way more conscious country, I would say. So we are on the forefront of the sustainability transition, and I think it's actually a good thing. And I would lie if this was one of my drivers 11 years ago when I started this company. But it's also fair to say, Gary. So we work with the smartest people on the planet in our company. They're young, they're progressive, they have a very different view on how the planet will evolve over time. And that also changed my mind, to be very honest. So a couple of years ago, we decided to either do nothing with it or go double down on it. And we chose the latter one. And we said, okay, we want to become Earth's largest, but also Earth's most sustainable platform for customizable printed products.
Okay.
And we said, okay, the only way we're going to achieve that is set really high standards and incorporate sustainability in all the departments that matter in the company. And that's actually what we've done. And we set the bar to become a B Corp, a company that has incorporated in their bylaws that they balance profit and their impact on planet. So it's quite an impactful thing.
Sure.
And a couple of months ago, we've achieved that certification.
Sure.
And that's for us. That's a nice milestone, but it's also the start of something more. So because of the fact that we have such a big network, we want to be the advocates and also the example of how you can implement more sustainability practices into your way of working. And it is possible. And we are very conscious about the fact that we are in a very polluting industry. Make no mistakes. And we need to be very honest as industry leaders. We need to acknowledge that, right? So we are in a very unsustainable industry. A lot of the things we do is single use, but there are ways to change that. And I know in the States, this might not be as vocal as in Europe, but it will come, and it's also a necessity to do so. And we as HelloPrint want to be front runner there. That's also why we've recently introduced our new label, Merch by HelloPrint, which is only focused on sustainable sourced materials and products. And we see that there is appetite for that model. And are we there yet? And is it a change that will happen over tomorrow? No, for sure not. But do we want to lead the change? Yes, for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about the pieces that go into sustainability, because it means it can mean a lot of different things. It can be how you buy your energy, where you source your materials from, what the materials are made out of, shipping, storage, all of those things. What were some of the big challenges you had in setting the requirements for your partners? Because like you said, you don't print anything yourself, right? So it's not like you can say, hey, we're buying recycled paper or whatever. You've got to set those standards for your partners, and your partners may say, guess what? We don't want to comply with that.
No, exactly. So it's also not something that we want to define top down instantly. And we said, when we started with this transition a couple of years ago, we said, okay, let's first start with awareness. So map out what does it mean to become more sustainable. And basically that first starts with what kind of products do you offer? So if you think about it, so for example, a roller banner that you use once for an exhibition, it has an aluminium cassette, there is a print in it, and you throw it away after one-time use. That's by essence quite strange, right? If you think about it.
Right.
And so we started to think, what can we come up with alternatives for that? Can we do a carton one, for example? Is it really necessary to offer a T-shirt that you can wash 1 or 2 times and then throw it away? Or is it also possible to have better materials? So we've started by investigating what alternatives would be available to offer to our customers.
Sure.
And when we had that clear, we started to discuss with our network, hey, what are you doing? So we did a full survey or investigation throughout the network. What kind of energy are you using? What kind of materials are you using? How is your facility built up? Et cetera, et cetera. And slowly but steady, you see that if you keep repeating that, people are making more conscious choices.
Right.
And I think that's also the only route to go. So it's not about blaming people about what they do wrong. Right. It's about helping people to make a slow but steady change in their behavior. And sometimes that lasts for 5 or 10 years. and sometimes it goes quicker because there's new leadership, or there is an event, or there is people are intrigued by something or inspired by something, and we want to play a role there. And we're not the ones who are saying, hey, you do this right or wrong, but we just want to be vocal about it.
Now, one of the other things that I've been doing some reading on the B Corp thing is you're not necessarily sacrificing profitability by pursuing sustainability.
No, I mean, so in an ideal world, those two can go hand in hand, right? And I think that's also the only way to really make the sustainability transition work globally, not only in print, is when there is actually a business model behind it. And we need to be we need to be clear about that. So it's nice to be very idealistic, but in the end, transitions go quicker when there is an economic motive behind them.
Right.
So for us, it's also a method, of course, to serve a different target group, a much more sustainably conscious target group, and offer them products that were not available for them in the past. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, I mean, there's certainly a lot of, like you said, among younger people, much more interest in sustainability. They want to know about it. They want to be aware of it. They want to make sure they're supporting companies that aren't contributing to climate change. So that's a marketing advantage as well as an ethical advantage, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think you're absolutely right about that.
Mhm.
And although we're not shouting from the roofs that you should buy with us because we are the most sustainable platform in the products in the world. Yeah, of course, it helps to also
Sure.
market it.
Well, I mean, I imagine you probably have some customers on the front end, right? Brands who
course, yeah.
want to be able to use that as part of their marketing message, right? And they certainly don't want to be caught saying, yes, we're sustainable, and their vendors aren't actually sustainable, right? So you can actually provide that information.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Photo retailers, energize your sales with ShareMe Chat, the proven texting platform. Using chat to text on your website keeps your customers connected and buying. See us at Pro and IPI to find out why dealers using ShareMe Chat close more sales without adding staff. Find out more at shareme.chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's also new legislation in Europe that make it mandatory for European companies to not only do their financial statement thing per year, but also your CSDR statements per year. So what have you done that impacts the planet? So that's something that in the States you can hardly imagine that would happen. But in Europe, it's a real thing. So
Yeah.
and it will happen. And so yeah, of course. So if we can provide our customers with much more information about the transparent supply chain that we have, the materials that we use, and the carbon footprint that their actual products that they've ordered via us has on the planet, that helps them to be more compliant.
Have you had to boot someone off because they can't meet your goals?
Sorry?
Have you had to remove someone from your network?
Not really. So, like I said, it's an evolution that you need to evolve and persuade, and
Sure.
but we also have a limit there, of course. So very, very few partners they are not really communicative about it, or they
Right.
think, okay, my time will come. Yeah, at a certain moment in time, we say no to them, or they just get less and less and less work, because that's also how the algorithm works.
Okay.
So we feed sustainability ratings that we have for our producers to our algorithms. And yeah, if those sustainability ratings are too low, yeah, you just get less work. Same as if your price is too high, or your delivery time is too long, or the quality of what you deliver, it's actually not on par. So that's how the
Interesting.
technology works. Yeah.
That's interesting that you would actually include that as part of your metric.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And that's pretty interesting. So what's been the response to that? I mean, I'm just curious because you're sort of introducing another vector in there.
Yeah, I mean, so the reactions are fairly positive about it, because
Sure.
in most companies it also helps the mindset drive, right? So that's for a lot of those company leaders, it helps them also to tell the internal story. When a client is requesting something, it's a
Right.
very good driver to start doing it.
Yeah.
And we have very progressive and really good partners in the network, all high quality. Those partners, those producers, they want to survive over the next decade, or 2 or 3 decades.
Right.
They have to adapt to new standards and to new market circumstances.
Right.
So this helps them as well to make that pivotal change.
We were talking before just how big the print market is. Do you think, and it's growing because of the availability of actually printing, like you said, 10 perfume bottles, right? I mean, it is one of those things where you can now economically do very, very short run prints.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that helps growing the market, obviously. So print changed the world from Gutenberg onwards, right? So it's still a very powerful methodology to spread your message. And although we do a lot online, the print market has never been as big as now. And obviously mass customization helps fueling that. So there are way more ways to personalize a gift, a product, a t-shirt, or whatever you want to personalize. And it helps the market grow.
Well, and the other piece of it too is sort of the creator economy piece, right? Where you have people who are actually becoming brands, or have a message they want to share, or they want to create something and share it with the world. And before, it was very difficult to do that at a reasonable cost and not have a lot of waste, right? If you were a a band and you wanted to have t-shirts, You had to print them by the hundreds, right? Instead of 40 for a gig, right?
Yeah, and now you go to Printful, to Printify, or to Zazzle, to Etsy,
Yeah.
and you can either sell it and buy it. And it's a fantastic way to become your own brand and to become your own influencer, or to whatever you want to become, and spread that message in a physical way. I think that's fantastic.
You just reminded me. I need to set up the Dead Pixel Society merch store. You
Yeah,
can do that.
well,
It's
I will
not
print
on
it for
the
free for you guys.
yet.
So never,
Can you hook me up with that?
100%. Yeah.
Are you always looking to add partners, or are you kind of at capacity? I mean, you're in a lot of countries already. You're in what, 31 countries. You got 300 some partners.
Yeah. So the first thing is we're growing. So we're growing, and we're growing at a nice pace. We're constantly adding new geographies. The US is on our roadmap for later this year. Very much looking forward to that, because it's also a long life ambition to bring the HelloPrint brand there. But also in terms of, so what we always want to achieve is not to fully optimize volumes, but we want to give our partners the work they want. And our approach is fairly different than others, I think. So the more partners we have, the more we can balance out their capabilities, but also their desires.
Right.
So some partners in the network, they love working for us, but they don't necessarily want work in November and December because of the festive season.
Right.
But they do want work in January and February.
Right.
While for other partners who are not in the festive season business or not in consumer business, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So then we try to balance that, and that's also what people love on our model. We're always long term. It's not an auction model. It's long-term price setting. It's long-term service contracts. It's long-term collaboration. It's long-term trust and helping each other.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons of existence for us, that we do that in that capacity.
I mean, I know there are networks where you basically just bid on stuff, and
Yeah,
what you're saying is that's not what you're doing.
Not at all. So it's all like long-term price setting. Our partners get insights about what they can do better. And for example, it's not only about price, but if you maybe do your cutoff time 2 hours earlier, you might get more work, or you can increase your cost price even. And so that helps our partners to also optimize their margins in a much more, I would say, neutral way than being active on an auction marketplace, because then you get the parties who have overcapacity only. And for our partners, they need to have capacity to work with us. So it's a deliberated choice to incorporate the HelloPrint model in your business model for long term. And we help you do that. We help you automate. We help you grow. We help you become more sustainable. But it's a long-term commitment that you have with us.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What does it take to be part of the HelloPrint network? Let's say, for example, you come to North America and you start looking at partners. I mean, you said commitment. What is that commitment?
Well, it first starts with be honest people and be fun people to work with. And that sounds like funny, but it's actually the case. We only want to work with nice people and honest people. And so it starts with that. And then the other thing is, have a technology mindset. That's a very important thing. So, and if you don't have the technology capabilities yet, we can help you, but you need to have like the open growth technology mindset to work with us. And luckily nowadays, so most of the companies have. So that's not really a problem anymore. But when I started, that was quite a problem. And also even 10 years ago, when I started HelloPrint, we really needed to educate partners to work with us. But also in the US, we see that so many companies are very well developed in terms of technology and data. The third thing is, so have a standardized offering that fits our product portfolio that we're offering to our customers. And the most important thing, have a really good reliability rate in terms of on-time dispatch and in terms of quality. For us, that's the most important thing, because that's what we guarantee to our customers, that order is always on time and it's always superb quality, and otherwise you get it for free. And that's super important. And have a long-term commitment to work with us. So don't use us as a temporary filling of your machine park, but just make a deliberated choice to work with us for many years and grow with us towards future.
Okay. So you're right now looking for somebody who says, "Hey, listen, I need some, like you said, I'm in the, I'm a consumer company, so I'm very busy in the fourth quarter, and I'm just looking for some ancillary volume in a few months out of the year." You're not looking for a light commitment.
No, I mean, so especially not in the first phase of launching a
Right.
country in this
Yeah.
continent. So now we're looking for partners who are deliberately choosing to work with us in this capacity. And later on, we're going to optimize more. The good thing is now that over time we have established also a little bit of a name in the US. I noticed. So we are approached by quite some people who want to work with us. That's really nice to see and hear. Yeah, so we're quite confident that we can build up a really good network overseas for us as well, and that we're going to start building the network in the US.
Awesome. Well, if people are interested in more information, how do they reach you or the company?
Yeah, just drop me a message on LinkedIn or hans@helloprint.com. They can just reach out to me or Nick at helloprint.com or Erwin at helloprint.com, the co-founders. We're all still in the company, and we're very motivated to make this work with like-minded people who are fun to work with and who want to do this with us.
I'm getting the fun vibe. You're smiling a lot, so I like that.
Perfect.
Well, great, Hans. Great to connect with you. Looking forward to talking to you again soon, and best wishes.
My absolute pleasure, Gary. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Dead Pixel Society podcast. Read more great stories and sign up for the newsletter at www.thedeadpixelssociety.com.